I'm Anthony LaPlanta from FoxSportsNorth.com with a look back at some of the highlights that you could have seen last week on the Fox Sports Prep Zone. We start out in basketball where Apple Valley and Eden Prairie went toe-to-toe. Tyus Jones leads the Eagles, and with a steal here, he has a fast break basket, 2 of his 37 points on the night. But Eden Prairie got big nights from 3 of their stars. Sander Moen with a layup here led his team with 27. Andre Wallace had 22, along with a few highlight reel assists, and Jordan Peterson finished with 20. Eden Prairie takes advantage of 54 points in the second half to secure the victory, 89-85. Mounds View head coach Zig Calls is starting his last season as a head coach in high school basketball. He went up against Spring Lake Park on his home floor on Tuesday night. Spring Lake Park forward Sean Scott scored early and often, many times with a hand in his face, and was able to create off the dribble. He finished the night with a game-high 25, 3 of them on this pull-up jumper. Mike Kerfeld had a big night for Mounds View, scoring 18 and keeping the score close throughout, but Spring Lake Park pulled away late, and they go on to win by 8, 66-58. On the hockey side, Elk River and Centennial went head-to-head in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Elk River got off to a fast start. With Ryan Hyde scoring on the breakaway, his team was up 1-0 less than a minute into the first period. Less than 3 minutes later, Nick McCormick with the goal, and the Elks were in front by 2. Centennial managed to cut the deficit to 1 goal twice, but Elk River had quick answers each time, and it's the Elks that hold off the Cougars and win the game by a final of 5-3. Centennial went head-to-head with Bloomington Jefferson later in the week in a non-conference matchup at Jefferson. Jefferson started the scoring with Johnny Panvica scoring early. Jefferson was in front 1-0. John Lindquist stretched the lead to 2 just a few minutes before the first intermission, but then Centennial started chipping away. They outscored Jefferson 2-1 in each of the final 2 periods, tying the game with 4 with less than 3 minutes remaining in the third period. And after a scoreless overtime, the teams tied at 4. Adam Lovick led the way for Centennial with 3 points in the game. Benilde St. Margaret's went to Burnsville for a matchup with the Blaze, who were trying to bounce back from an early season loss. Burnsville was trailing 1-0 midway through the second period when Corey Chapman got things started for Burnsville, tying the score at 1, and that goal opened the floodgates. Burnsville dominated the rest of the way. Mason Wyman scored back-to-back goals before the intermission. Burnsville scored twice in the third, finishing the final period with 5 unanswered goals, and Burnsville turned a close game into a 5-1 rout. It was a matchup of Raiders against Raiders in the Suburban East Conference when Hastings went to Roseville. A well-placed Andrew Colbert wrist shot gave Roseville a power play goal, 1-0 lead midway through the first period. The Raider lead was short-lived as Nate Flynn tied the game less than 5 minutes later. The teams exchanged goals, and they were tied at 2 when Jake McCann gets the puck, skates around the defense, and beats the goaltender for the game-winning goal. McCann had 2 goals in the game. Roseville wins by a final of 3-2. That's a look back at the games you could have seen last week. Check out FoxSportsNorth.com this Thursday night for 4 live hockey games at 7 o'clock.